ask that I need your help, hand over Baba Gurditta to me, I need him to join the Udasi Panth. So that incident happened in Kartarpur. Now don't confuse the Kartarpur, either there are two Kartarpurs. One Kartarpur is in Pakistan where Guru Nanak Dev Ji's last 20 years were spent on the banks of River Ravi. The another Kartarpur is west of Jalandhar on GT Road, that's another, so two Kartarpur. So this Kartarpur that I'm talking about is in India. So Baba Gurditta then was given to the Udasi Panth. बड़ी सेवा की थी उन्होंने, and on top of it, and he became sick though, and believe me or not, he passed away before his dad did. Guru Hargobind Maharaj di Jyoti Jyoto 10 साल पहले उन्होंने death हो गई. So there's no way he would have become the Guru though. Viro got married to a Gursikh family. बच्चे इन्होंने सारे Gursikh निकले. There is not much we know about Surajmal and Ani Rai. The only thing we know is कि Surajmal's wife ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਸੀ, and the first two tours that the Guru took to the east though, Surajmal's wife accompanied the Guru on those trips, on the long trips that he took though. He took a lot of trips to the first two trips though. Ani Rai बारे भी बहुत ज़्यादा we don't know too much about what happened though. Baba Atal Rai, we all know, we all know he was also a child which was very spiritually oriented, and certain things happened. Sakhiyan aadiyan jadiyan jadon ki he tried to vigna paya jadon hukam vich unhone fir Maharaj ne kiha ki nahi tusi chale jao. So he died at a very early age. He was visited Baba Atal Rai ji da sthan in Amritsar, Darbar Sahib de naal ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ sthan hai. There used to be an old saying now. I don't see those shops anymore, but as a young child, when I was 8 years old, when I used to visit, this is in 60s, mid 60s, which there used to be a saying that paki pakai kal, which means that the normal, when you bring the langar, you always bring atta separately and chini and kyo and everything, and people used to cook langar. In Baba Atal Rai ji's ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਪੱਕੀ ਪਕਾਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੁਕਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ. People used to take the langar and feed it to the poor, So Atal Rai was and in fact Atal Rai ਦੀ death ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj ਦੀ life ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੜਾ effect ਹੋਇਆ ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ. He took it hard on himself, his behaviors changed and everything. He became more of an inside person and everything like that. And then the youngest, obviously, Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ original ਨਾਮ ਸੀ, and it's very common in India to have two names, a formal name and baad ditta janda hai. So Tyagmal was his name though, and sometimes the name itself tells you ki Tyag shuru to na Tyagmal reha hona though. Any questions on the family tree? Let me just draw our family tree a little bit further though. Baba Gurditta had two sons, Does anybody name the eldest son's name? Played a huge role in the Sikh history, which had a huge role to play. Hanji, Guru Har Rai Pasha छोटे बेटे सन मंत्री. छोटे बेटे सन, बड़े बेटे का नाम किसका? Nobody knows? हैं? तीन. And then Guru Har Rai Pasha de दो संताना होनियां आगे जाके, है ना? छोटे ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਨ, younger one was Guru Harkrishan Maharaj, and then the elder one, nobody knows, Ram Rai. So the guruship goes from Guru Hargobind Maharaj to guruship goes from the grandson Guru Har Rai Pasha. So we skip this entire generation. And then from Guru Har Rai Pasha to then the guruship goes to Guru Harkrishan. And from Guru Harkrishan then the guruship goes to Tyagmal. So the generation that was skipped though, it had to wait 2 more to happen here. And then from ithe inadi koi santan si khali, but there is only one, right? One child. And then the Sampita Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. this is a nutshell family tree before we start talking about his life though. Any questions on this? Tirmal, of course, thought that he should be the guru, so he declared himself the guru. And there was a big scuffle between Tirmal and Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj because he for sure thought that he is the elder son and therefore he deserves to be the guru, not Guru Har Rai Pasha, you know. So even Guru Har Rai Pasha was a guru though, he declared himself as a guru anyway. And then so when the guruship was given back here though, he still protested and there was a lot, even armed conflict happened between the two of them, you know. Any questions on the family tree before we move forward? Any?
Who was the wife of Guru Hargobind?
Another name, Nanki. Yeah. Can I erase it? Is it okay? Absolutely. Any other questions? No? Okay, so I'm going to erase it. So this is, guess where everybody grew up though? Guess which city all six of them grew up as young child? Henry? Kiratpur, no? No? Come on. Where do you think all six children grew up though and got married also almost the same? Other than Guru Tegh Bahadur marriage did not happen in that place, but other than that everybody else got married there. And of course Atal Rai ji passed away as a young child, so that doesn't matter. Henry? Amritsar. Yeah, absolutely. They all were raised in Amritsar. I'm going to raise this whole thing now, Henry. They were all raised in Amritsar. They were all given their education in Amritsar. And they were raised in Amritsar. And you know, Amritsar piche Akal Takht ke saath piche, you know, if you walk a little bit, maybe a 10-minute walk from Akal Takht Sahib, you go in the back of Akal Takht Sahib and start walking though. The Gurdwara exists, the Guru Ke Mahal, where all of the, with Guru's children, where they grew up, all of them. All six of them grew up there in that house, you know. So they all grew up in Amritsar. So lifespan to both vada nahi hai, you know, 1621 which birth hai or 1675 which Shahidi. So how many years is that? Like 54 approximately? 54, 55 years. Not that long of a lifespan, you know. So 1621 birth Amritsar. Youngest child of Guru Hargobind, and almost 1633. So he was 12 years old when Guruji moved away from Amritsar. Though, who do you think was his teacher though? Who gave him the Shastra Vidya and Gurbani, the teachings and everything? You know, he was well versed in all the stuff though. And by the way, has anybody read any part of his writings or any class though? Any one line even? Guru Tegh Bahadur. Which ones? Shokmala? Other than that? Some shabads within the rags and everything though. And which language do you think he wrote it in though? The language, Shokmala, know the language kadi hai? Don't say it's Punjabi, I'm going to tell you right now it's not. So Anji? Braj hai. So where does a Braj language comes from? It's widely spoken those days in northern India, you know, especially in the Gangetic plains, you know. Why was Braj so popular? A lot of people wrote in Braj though. Who else wrote in Braj a lot, Guru Anjo? Guru Di Bani Braj is both zyada. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Bani Braj. And what other languages he used? He used Farsi also, Arabic also, but Braj with zyada hona hai. Braj became a very important tool of communicating, and one of the advantages of Braj as opposed to Punjabi is what though? Why do you think they wrote so much in Braj? Because
it was well understood by most people.
That's right, not only the people in Punjab, but people living outside Punjab. So for example, who reads Sukhmani on a regular basis? Anybody, any student who's in touch with Sukhmani? No? Nobody reads Sukhmani? Okay, anybody has learned at least 5 lines of Sukhmani or read somewhat or something? What language is Sukhmani written in? It's not Braj. पहले क्या करेंगे I can't be very हाँ जी. What language is Sukhmani? What language is Sukhmani? You'll be surprised though if you go to Banaras today, which is in the central India, or you go to Patna, or you go to Mathura, or you go to Kanpur, or you go to Lucknow, or you go to Agra, they'll be able to understand Sukhmani as well as you do. And the reason is because the Gurus wrote a Khadi Boli Hindi hai, Sukhmani, you know. Prabkya Simran Garagna Base is not Punjabi at all, you know. So, so the Gurus purposely did that so that the reach is bigger, you know. If you consider it choti reach ho jandi, nahi to fir reach jehdi vadi ho jandi hai sara. So Amritsar birth hai 1633, which I mean 1633 tak Amritsar hai. My point was who was his main teacher though? Anybody know? Baba Buddha Ji was main teacher. What did he? And you'll be, and some people are like surprised though. Some people only associate Baba Buddha Ji with Gurbani only, you know. Scholars and bade bade, you know. No, Shastra Vidya bhi unhone Baba Buddha Ji ko sikhi unhone. Baba Buddha Ji also was Shastradhari. So don't get this thing in your mind though ki Granthi Sahib, Head Granthi Sahib, Darbar Sahib, they sirf, so he was only concentrating on the Gurbani aspect of the things. No, absolutely not. Yeah, that was there, but Shuru to Jodon, Miri Piri de Malak, Aap Jodon, when the hukam was given, Baba Buddha Ji also started wearing a Shri Sahib. And he got weaponry training up, you know. So now this sari training jehdi hai, mainly happened under the watchful eyes of Baba Buddha Ji. How old was he? When Guruji was 7-8 years old, what do you think the Baba Buddha Ji age ki hongi us wale? He was close to 115 years old. He was 122 when he passed away approximately. He was 115. He could still shield up with the, you know, Shri Sahib and everything. So training both achhi hui na di. So he was taught Braj, he was taught Khadi Boli Hindi, he was taught Punjabi, he was taught Sanskrit, he was taught Farsi. Why Farsi? Why Farsi was so important those days in India? Because
Muslim.
Muslim. Anji?
Muslim.
I'm sorry?
Muslim influence.
Muslim influence, but why was it important though to learn Farsi?
Because the regime was Islamic.
And
you had to communicate with them pretty
And most important thing we're still missing though. Farsi was the official language of India. Court language of India. All the court decisions were in Farsi, all the official communications were in Farsi. All the communication within the Mughal regime to the outside world was in Farsi. And don't do that. Don't do that in front of me. So, any questions so far though? So his education started in Amritsar, young man of 12 years old, and the Guru moves to Kartarpur. Any reason though? Does anybody know why was Guru moving from generations to Amritsar ran and suddenly they decide now, oops, we gotta go to Kartarpur now. Why was the decision made to move to Kartarpur? What happened? Nobody knows in the class though. किसी नहीं पता इस कोई क्लू नहीं है भी क्यों हो रहा है क्यों करतारपुर मूव हुए and where is Kartarpur by the way? Is it west of Amritsar or east of Amritsar? मैप अगर पंजाब को देखो तो it's east of Amritsar. East of Amritsar, east of the river Byas. But west of Satluj. Satluj और ब्यास से विचकारला जड़ा इलाका जड़ा है उथे मूव हुए. क्यों मूव हुए? इस वास्ते मूव हुए because Amritsar being so close to Lahore though, and those battles that were being fought, the Guru was afraid though, Amritsar is too close to Darbar Sahib. If a major battle takes place in Amritsar, there could be damage done to Harmandir Ji underly structure jada hai. So the Guru decided we're going to fight a little bit further away here though, on this side. It's too close to home, too close for comfort. We're not going to do that, you know. And the other reason was the family true, unfortunately, I only started with Guru Hargobind Maharaj. I did not start with, let me do that too, because that's also important though. Guru Ramdas Pasha, ਵੱਡੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਕੀ ਸੀ? Prithi Chand. So Prithi Chand the beta si Meherban, and Meherban's son was Soti Haji. All this is happening parallel to what I said earlier, you know. So when Guru decided to move to Amritsar though, Prithi Chand was still alive and he took control of Harmandir. So Harmandir became under his control though. And there was always this animosity anyway because Prithi Chand wanted to become the Guru instead of Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj. And Guru Hargobind did not wanted the family stuff to be, the dirty laundry to be shown to the whole world like that. So they decided it's not worth it, you know. एक तो मुगलां दे नाल चक्कर सी दूसरा पृथ्वी चंद दे नाल conflict see, so they decided it's not worth it. Just this conflict can be solved by moving away from here. Let them take the money from Harmandir, whatever they run it though. So later on, then so these are the two reasons that the Guru moved to Kartarpur. Once they moved to Kartarpur, the Mughals also found out that they moved to Kartarpur, and then 1635 there was a major battle fought, Battle of Kartarpur. We all know that, right? Under the Mughal general Painda Khan. Does anybody know what the sixth strength of the army was, Usulay? It was this was not the formal training, the training was not very formal those days. Guru Hargobind Maharaj at the time, which, they were still like shaky si ground, as far as military training goes. This is only been few years, since Guru Hargobind declared Meri Piri de Malik Aap, So, but strength of the Sikh army was close to 5,000. Una the strength really triples is up. But still they lost that day. And they lost because of the ability of the young 13-year-old Tyagmal. And this is where it changed the whole thing. When Guru declared that from now on you showed such bravery in this battle though with Painda Khan, that we're going to change your name from Tyagmar to Tegh Bahadur. Tegh means what? What does Tegh mean? Sword. Bahadur means brave, one who controls the Tegh, So this happened during the time of 1635 is battle going on. After 1635 though, to almost 1656, over 20, 1650, after 55, almost like 20 years, plus minus 20 years, The Guru was ordered to see Bakala move hotel. Don't stay here. Why is that? And if you have any questions, you can call, you can ask me, Anybody know why Guru told? They were ordered actually, both Guru Tegh Bahadur and his mother, Nanki, to move to Bakala. Why Bakala, by the way? Why not somewhere else? And where is Bakala? Geographically speaking. You gotta know all this stuff. We have time with everything.
Around until 1040.
10:40. अच्छा ठीक है उधर 10:55 लिखा है
10:55
देखो पहले देखो 9:45 तो देखो कितना लिखा है टाइम maybe I'm wrong 40 लिखा है oh I'm wrong
10:40 then we have a 10-minute break
so 10:40 10:45 yeah so I have about
नहीं तो सिर्फ कालू जितना
25 minutes or so I just don't want to go beyond my timeline. And see, why was Bakala chosen? Why not somewhere else? We could have gone to somewhere else. Why bother going to Bakala? What was so special about Bakala? And where is Bakala? Two questions I have. Nobody knows? Do you know where Bakala is? It's on Google Maps if you look at it. It's not that far from Amritsar. It's east of Amritsar. Not that far. 45 minutes away from Amritsar. It's like almost a suburb kind of, And why Bakala was chosen? Because Guruji's Nanke lives there. Nanki is one of the wife, the parents of son, or Bakale son. So they thought it would be safer to go there. It's a quiet village though, to bother nahi karega no. So 1635 which Guruji moves to Bakala, and then from 20 plus years you know, you're 21 years, whatever some people call it, whatever the number of years that are involved though. We really don't know too much as to what happened during that time with Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj. One side of the story is he was in a deep meditative state, which is probably true, but that doesn't mean he was meditating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no such thing, you know. He carried on his responsibilities, took care of his mother, his grandparents used to live there, and he frequently visited. So this is Amritsar, so this is Bakala, let's say this is Kartarpur, and north है Kiratpur Sahib. So he would visit from Bakala all the time to Kiratpur and back, you know, as and when required. When the Guru required him to come, he would go to Kiratpur. So that thing happened, and these 20 years though, he did whatever he had to do, you know. He became stronger internally is the right word to use. But this time though, 1658 which is 2 years after his Bakala years, something very important happened in India. In India the Kai Barat used to want. Something very, from a historical perspective, 1658 is a very important year in Indian history. Though. What happened in 1658? Does anybody know? From a historical, non-Sikh perspective, that affected the entire country though. Anybody? Anji? No, Pandits came a lot later. Pandits came like close to 1675-ish. Just a couple of months before Shri. That we will cover it not tomorrow, but the Thursday we will cover that. Aurangzeb, the Rajshurvai, absolutely. 1658 is Aurangzeb came to the throne, and before Aurangzeb came to the throne, what was his role in Indian politics? Who was he, or what was he doing there? He was the governor of the northwestern part of India, currently today Afghanistan. And the question is, मैं तो कुछ और
No, it's not.
फिर ध्यान चला गया ना फिर शब्द, you know. So 1658 तो पहले भी he had his eyes on India as to I am becoming the next emperor. We all know what he did, horrible things that he did to his father, you know, horrible things he did to his brothers. I don't want to go through the gruesome stuff that he did though. He was not a good guy. He did not believe in any kind of empathy or compassion. Becomes the emperor in India, and he enforces strict Islamic laws. So under the Islamic laws though, and I've studied the Quran myself, there are some rights that a non-Muslim does not have as a citizen of the country. So for example, if there's a country A though, country A is being ruled under a strict Islamic regime, then there are two kind of people who live there. If X number of population is Muslim and Y is non-Muslims though, non-Muslims don't have some certain basic rights that the Muslims have. Can somebody in the class tell me though, which rights that non-Muslims do not have under the strict Sharia law?
ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ, you cannot propagate your own faith. You can follow your faith though. There's no restrictions on that. So for example, you can, in an Islamic country, you can establish a gurdwara or a mandir or a church or a synagogue or something like that. But what you cannot do is go out and say, oh, we are also good, you know. You cannot say, oh, follow us or something like that. There's no such thing. So that is number one on the list. Because other apni religion unu propagate nahi kar sakte. That's not allowed. There's certain other things that Aurangzeb forced though.
Taxes, zamindars?
Zamindar the tax, but there's a special tax under the Quran that is allowed though. What is that tax called?
Jizya tax.
Huh?
Jizya tax.
Jizya. Can you explain me to the class though what jizya is though?
I believe it's like if you don't follow like Islam, you're supposed to pay.
If you don't follow what?
If you don't follow Islam, like you're supposed to pay an additional tax.
But why? What is the reasoning behind
To
it?
help you like convert, like you know, to ease the conversion, I guess.
No, there's more than that, Hanji.
I believe it's like something if you're not.
But jizya is right, and it's for non-Muslims only.
If you're not a Muslim, then you by paying jizya to the Islamic State is somehow like making up for that.
You're making up for what though?
For your
So the underlying reasoning here कि the Islamic State is spending money on their citizens. ठीक है? They're spending a lot of money on this, just like the US government spends money on us, like we have the freeways, the hospitals, the roads, the army and everything, the federal government has a huge expenditure, So every one of us as US citizens, we all pay taxes to the government to pay our share of according to how much income you have. In Islamic law though, the jizya is imposed because they feel that any money spent on non-Muslims from the government should come out of these people's pocket. We are not going to pay for it. That is the underlying reasoning in the Quran and in the Hadith also. Hadith which also discussion I hear with. So jizya was imposed. So by imposing jizya, for example, a Hindu gentleman who lives in Jalandhar wants to visit Haridwar and he goes to have a shnan at Har Ki Pauri in Haridwar. He travels to Haridwar, he has to pay a special tax. He cannot go to Haridwar otherwise. A Hindu person wants to visit the Jagannath Mandir in the east in Odisha and he lives in Banaras. He has to go to Jagannath Mandir in Odisha though, he has to pay a special tax, he cannot go otherwise. There are special, not only taxes of visiting religious sites though, if you're a trader and if you're a business person though, okay, you are not, you have to pay special taxes to the government that the Muslim population does not have to pay. What are the rights you did not have though? There were a few other rights, important ones.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਗੜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ
ਦਸਤਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ।
ਘੋੜ ਸਵਾਰੀ
It's funny though, Bhai Veer Singh Kabir Chamatकार ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਾਇਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ he made a bold announcement ਕਿ under this Islamic regime you cannot wear a ਪਗੜੀ or ਦਸਤਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਸਤਾਰ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਸਤਾਰ ਸਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ do what you have to do now we will do this is what it is though. Secondly, there's one more important, a few other things, Janji.
ਘੋੜ ਸਵਾਰੀ
So basically, not only Korswari, you cannot keep anything that you can ride on. You cannot keep those days elephants used to be also a sign of wealth, there used to be camels used to be a sign of wealth. Horses used to be a sign of wealth, So you see, kuch nahi kar sakte. Korswari ka. And Guru announced in 1699 in his famous speech though, before the Amrit Sanchar ceremony, we are not only going to ride the horses, we are not going to come out of it. We are going to sleep on the horses. You can do what you want. Bold declaration. दस्तार सजावांगे, उतारांगे नहीं, राती पावांगे और पावांगे नहीं सजावांगे जो ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਬਣ ਪੜਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਘੋੜਸਵਾਰੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਘੋੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਉਤਰਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਾਤੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਸੋਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਮਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਹਾਂਜੀ
Adding on to the jizya tax, weren't they also like not allowed to charge interest to other Muslims? They charge like exorbitant interest on other.
No, interest is Islam in Islam though. So under Sunni Islam, interest is haram. So they are called other stuff, though, fees
Didn't
and
they
everything.
charge like?
They call fees and stuff. Yeah, they always treated them better, Yeah, you're right. But there's another part though, number 5, which is also very important though. That the non-Muslims did not have any. And by the way, this is all documented. You can read it anywhere. And if you need more help, though, I never wrote the bibliography. Tomorrow I'll write the documents that are available. You can look at it. Hanji, there's one more important part that's missing here. Right to bear arms. Non-Muslim cannot buy any arms or bear arms at all. And the Guru declared in 1699, Misaki Che, not only where we bear arms, though, we're not going to take the arms off our bodies. It will become a part of our ang. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਜੋ ਬਣਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਉਤਾਰਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਉਤਾਰਾਂਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਜਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੀਰ ਹੈ and for next 80 years after Guruji's passing away in 1708, 60 years, When do you think the printing press came in the world? When does anybody have an idea though when the printing presses started to come around in Europe?
And these are the 17th century. or something?
Late 1700s, which, early 1800s. When did the printing press came to Punjab? Do you think when the British do you think brought the first time Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj Ji Peer was started to print on a printing press? What year do you think that might have been?
I think it was the very early 20th century.
Yeah, 1890s, which 19th century, towards the end. So how do you think they did that? How do you think Maharaj Swaroop where Prakash kis tarah hunde son na dinach between 1710 to like 1860s tak, that 140 year period which are Maharaj Swaroop jade, how do you think people did that?
Punch Takta they done this?
Handwritten, sorry.
Yes.
Handwritten. But there are not too many of them, very few.
Yeah.
You can count them on hands. I think there were 8 or 9 that were like done,
Yeah.
So what happened to the rest of the Gurdwara? What do you think we worshipped though? Shastar on this one. Or won't be Shastar hai. Oh, Maryada won't be hai. There is no such Gurdwara. Jithe Maharaj Swaroop uthe honde thale Shri Sahib na pai hoye. Thale teer na pai ho. Jad tusi matha tekde ho, Bani nu matha tekde ho, to Shastar nu matha nahi tekde ho. Ek Guru da hukam hai. That's what the Guru declared that day in 1699. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਰਮਸ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਰਮਸ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਦਾ ਅੰਗ ਬਣੇਗਾ ਔਰ ਸ਼ਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਜਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ। ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਜੋ ਬਣਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰੋ। You do what you have to do. We will do this now. So this is the India that we were living in. This is the India you were living in. Just imagine ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ USA ਜੋ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਲਾਅ ਬਣਾ ਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਟੈਕਸ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ। Just imagine that was the India we were living in 1658, and Guru when he was in Bakala between 1635 and 1656 though, those 20 years in Bakala though, Aurangzeb, even though he was not an emperor, had a lot of say of what was going on. Shah Jahan was a weak emperor in Agra. Whatever he said went, So his saying and his rule, even though he was not an emperor, the things have started to change in India slowly and steadily. Any questions so far? I just want to draw up a little bit of a political environment in India when Guru was before Guruji's guruship that came around. And so these 20 years though, can I erase this now? Is that okay with everybody?
I have a quick question.
Anji.
Before Aurangzeb, was Shah Jahan quite liberal?
No, it was
So
not.
those rules.
So but they were not strictly enforced as Aurangzeb did, ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਮਨੇ ਕਿ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ strictly ਬੰਦਾ enforce ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਉਸ ਰੂਲ ਨੂੰ, even though the rules are there, you just back off a little bit, So he was pretty bad too. Jahangir also was the same way. Aurangzeb was a whole different level. In fact, if somebody is interested, if you don't believe me what I'm saying, recently, I think push. Anji, Pitaji, is that okay? Nobody wants to take a picture or anything like that. Everything's done. Just for this has nothing to do with this one.
I just had a question. For the rules, those rules are like in the Quran, like if it is like an Islamic country, like it's like this is how.
Oh yeah, and if you don't believe me, I'll go to 7-8 years ago to the ISIS rule. Same rule with the ISIS.
So like if there's a country now.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
rules,
So for example, in Saudi Arabia, you cannot establish a gurdwara. You cannot establish a church. You cannot propagate your own faith. And my father-in-law, he passed away last year. He used to be a senior economist at the World Bank. He worked for the World Bank for the longest time, 25-30 years or so. So there's an official delegation that went from Washington to Saudi Arabia to look at their water irrigation system. He was part of their economic team. He led that team actually. And he lands up in Riyadh, though he got off the airport, and luggage gets checked, and then they find he is carrying a gutka with him. Sundar gutka se Japji Sahib, Sukhmani Sahib, Parche, and they said, you cannot take this inside. And he said, well, then how like he said, no, you cannot take it. However, what we'll do for you is we'll keep it here at the airport for you. So when you leave though, we'll give it to you then. So you have two choices, either you can leave, you don't have to participate in this, you don't have to come into the country, or you leave this here, and on your way back, we will definitely will provide this to you back. You cannot take it inside the country. So that's still there. ISIS rule is special. Look at the ISIS rule. And there were, I don't want to go through some other horrible rules that Aurangzeb had though. It will like completely shock your consciousness if I go through all of them. You can go through yourself later though. Especially in the rules of what happens to women when you lose a battle, जिन्हां दियां wives जिन्हें बात जानी जिन्हें की हाल करते सन उस वेले it's beyond my words though. I cannot even repeat it here. But recently, this is like I think 15 साल पहले, 10-15 साल पहले, 20 years ago maybe in Kandahar, they found some manuscripts written by a bunch of letters written by Aurangzeb in Farsi. Somebody they just fell upon them, the big manuscript, and then somebody translated them into English, and Amazon just published them about 7-8 saal pehle. If you want to know the name of the book, I have it. I'll give it. Next, remind karana main landa the book now. Though this is about like 40 letters written by Aurangzeb to his governors and everything. From those letters, you will see what kind of a person he was. I read 10 of them and I got scared myself. Oh my God, this is the kind of person he was, though. A person who kills his own father, I mean, kills his own brother. I mean, if you can't treat your own blood like that, just imagine what could do the others. There's no words for that. What was goes on. So between 1635 and 1656, when he was in Bakala, lot happened in the Sikh history though. Can somebody tell me what was going on? After Guru Hargobind Maharaj passed away, in between in 1644, Guruji passes away. So 9 years after he moved to Bakala, Guruji passes away though. And 1656 tak Bakale rahe. In a 12 saala which after Guru Hargobind Maharaj passed away though, who became the Guru? Guru Har Rai Maharaj becomes a family tree de saath nal. What was the relation between Guru Har Rai Pasha and Guru Hargobind Maharaj? Grandson, because Baba Gurditta is son. So Guru Har Rai Pasha comes and takes over the affairs of the Sikh community, Guru Har Rai Pasha. And once he becomes the Guru though, Aurangzeb finds out. Aurangzeb pata lag gaya कि हाँ एक बन गए Guru next, He summoned him. He issued summons. You know what summons are?
Yeah.
What's a summon?
Paid karna tha.
Anji?
They privately invite you.
No. Right now, okay, let's say in the US you get a summon though. What does that mean? You have to appear somewhere, either in the Congress in front of the House of Representatives or Senate or some tribunal or court or something. You can't say no. There's an official order. If you don't do that, there's contempt of court orders that are issued against you. Summons were issued against a Guru to appear in Delhi. We have questions on your Bani. We think your Gurbani insults Islam, which was absolutely not true at all. But that's what. Look, Pardon and Ram Rai was part of that, and everything. Later on, though. So summons were issued to Guru Har Rai Maharaj. Guru Har Rai Ji doesn't want to go to Delhi, so he decides not to go to Delhi. And then the second set of summons comes, and now the Sangat becomes worried, though, in Kiratpur, that if the Guru doesn't go there now, then bad thing might happen to us. So what does Guru Har Rai Maharaj do, though? Does anybody know what he did, though? He sends who? No, Prithi Chand was son of Guru. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕੌਣ ਸਨ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਏ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਏ was his elder son. Ram Rai was sent though उन्होंने संगत and why was Ram Rai sent though to the reason was Ram Rai was very well versed, very well educated. He could articulate things very well. He knew what he was talking about. Sanskrit, Farsi ਦੇ ਮਾਹਿਰ ਸਨ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. The Guru decided that Ram Rai is a better representative. Let me send Ram Rai to Aurangzeb's court to talk this over and to make sure. And Ram Rai goes there in Delhi in front of Diwane Khas. He appears in front of Aurangzeb when he got lost in the splendor of the Mughal, court, डर गया बेचारा, वो डर गया वो डर गया तो जो बानी बदलती, as we all know कि मिट्टी बेईमान की as opposed, that's what the books, that's what the सारियां साखियां जो कहती हैं सन. So he changed Gurbani, and when Guru Har Rai Maharaj found out that Ram Rai got scared of Amritsar and he changed of Aurangzeb, and he scared though, he was scared, and he changed the Gurbani, we basically cut off all relationship with Ram Rai. Excommunicated from the Panth. In fact, today when you take Amrit, you have to promise that Ram Rai and Tora koi rishta nahi rahega. Teen bariyan hote Ram Rai.
Wanted
If-
to know.
Yeah, or the end, but I don't know the name definitely on the name. If तुसी rishta nahi, now you cannot keep any relation. Otherwise, you cannot take Amrit. If you don't promise that. And one of them is Ram Rai and Tora koi rishta nahi rahega. Now, nothing to do with him or his way of thinking though. So Ram Rai gets scared, changes Gurbani, Guru cuts off all relation. Ram Rai then becomes a big landowner. He is sent to Dehradun, and his followers are still there, by the way. There are a lot of schools that are run by the Ram Rai's family is still running. And this is all happening between these 20 years. That's what I'm saying. What's going on in India those days though. And then Guru Har Rai Maharaj, then who becomes the Guru? The young Bala Pritam Guru Harkishan. And when Guru Harkishan Maharaj जो Guru बन गए हैं, छोटे हैं, तो फिर summons जड़े हैं, फिर दोबारा जारी हो गए. Guru Harkishan Maharaj ने जारी हुए summons. Guru Har Rai Paatshah दी जो समान तो बात. हैं जी? I'll end in 2 minutes and then we'll go from there though. And then at that point though, when Guru Harkishan Maharaj got the summons, the people suggested that he should go to Delhi. So he travels to Delhi. And where does he stay in Delhi? Does he stay with the emperor? He told that where does he stay in Delhi? Then when he goes to Delhi to see, because of the official summons that were given to him. He stays in a bungalow of Raja Jai Singh. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬੰਗਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਹੈ that's where he stayed. Okay. That's where he stayed, and this is where at the age of 8 he got smallpox, right? Smallpox की बीमारी उन्हें दिल्ली चली हुई थी, and he could not survive that, and he passed away in Delhi. And before his passing away, and that's part I will cover tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow we will pick up our pieces, the life after Bakala, And so from Bakala we will then travel to his becoming a guru, to his travels to the east, on the famous trip to Patna where Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born, on the famous big trip to and then his Shahidi in Delhi when he comes back to Anandpur Sahib. And then we'll discuss a little bit about his writings also. I've picked out certain portions of his writings though, in my mind that I want to discuss though. मैं तुम्हें शब्द भेज दिया वहाँ जड़े का दो मैं डिस्कस कर दूँ. इन्होंने पहले भेज दिया है कि मैं ना करूँ.
मैंने भेज दिया, but I don't think they'll have time to review it before.
Okay, so that doesn't matter anyway. I'll just read it out to you. Then we'll go over that. Just few lines and not too many of them. I will be discussing more of his concepts in that he's discussing in his Gurbani as opposed to each line or something. That's less important to me, that you can do it in your own self. So I think my time is up now. I don't want to disrespect the time, I don't like that. So any questions so far? I hope it's not too boring enough. Any question? Anything that comes to your mind, Hanji?
How big was presence of Sikh community at that time? That
In where, Vijay?
during
In Delhi?
in overall, like it was so important for them
both badi
to
communities.
summon Guru Har Rai Sahib.
Yeah. Both badi community, but Mughal government got threatened,
Threatened.
The arm bearing to ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, then ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ rebels which ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ,
Okay.
So they got threatened. Once you get threatened in Aurangzeb ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰਾ ਜੇ ਨਿਕਲਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਬਸ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ yeah, or the you know, I mean, it doesn't take too much, you know, when anybody who is insecure ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦੀ, ਥੋੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਥ੍ਰੈਟਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਥ੍ਰੈਟਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, you know, that's what it is. ਹਾਂਜੀ, any other questions you can answer though? And think about something else that you want me to cover tomorrow, otherwise I'll go at my own pace though, the way I'm going. Good?
Yes.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys
Yeah.
can now continue.